Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Moggycraft Season 2, and I am still in my Halloween costume because the day of recording it is actually Halloween, so I thought it would be appropriate even though October has ended by the time this episode goes up. And we are in the place that we worked on last time, and I have made a minor change to the amethyst farm. And that's because I noticed the machine being stuck over there. So these flying machines, or at least two of them, were just stuck over there. Quickly going into spectator mode, I'll show you the changes I have made. Right now we have these observers facing up, and we have these at the bottom. And that is because I noticed the flying machine stuck here because an amethyst grew at the exact moment that the observers were facing it, thus breaking this. Fortunately, it didn't crash with anything because I noticed it just in time, and I was able to turn off the machine itself, of course. But yeah, that could have gone horribly wrong. So I fixed it, and the way the observers are facing now should make it so that there are no issues. And at first I wanted to show you what I got, but there are still two amethyst shards in here that I put in there myself. Then it came to me that they are in here. Yes, there's only one hopper behind here, so none of these get filled up, so we have to still put those in place. But as you can see, 2.5 stacks, that's not terrible. Of course, we will need a lot more, but we're going to need that much later, and not quite yet. Especially not for today's plans. Today's plans are going to take place over here in Moggy Dungeon, and I'm noticing cats here. They probably came through the nether because of the iron farm. You know, it's a village, so it spawns cats, and they all go into the nether, and they end up here apparently. That's fine. Let's see, this place, it's the shops, and I still have a lot of bundles over here. And yeah, okay, that's full, and those don't need them, I think. Now, of course, those are still empty. Yep, these will just need what? Okay, not gonna question that for now. So we don't really have to work on the shop. And I don't think we really need to work over here, but I might actually change this up a little bit. And instead of having these, what I'll have is just these things over here. And probably have like a number, R, D in this case, because the number 3 here, third, second, so a 2, and D, and then a first, maybe a 1, and an ST. But yeah, not gonna do that today, I think. I mean, I might do it today. Just not going to focus on that quite yet. The issue with that, however, is that you cannot really see the tier. So I might have to put down a block of diamond in here, a block of iron in there, and a block of copper over here, which does make it impossible for me to do the first, second, third thing. Yeah, we'll have to see about that, I think. Hello, kitties. You are welcome to stay here, because you're not gonna be bothering me today anyway, as we go down below. And what I noticed before already is that there are some mushroom cows here, which, sure, it's not weird considering this is a mushroom island, but in the latest version of Minecraft, which I'm playing on in 1.21.10, they removed the spawn chunks. So now it doesn't render sun these animals, and these guys are actually able to spawn, which is very much appreciated. I'll probably bring some to my base and see what I can do with them over there. Alternatively, I might make a mushroom farm somewhere over there. We'll have to see about that. Okay, here's something funny. So, I was gonna say that I'm gonna go to sleep and show you guys this area while it's daytime. And then I suddenly hear something and I see something out of the corner of my eye. Yep, we have a little friend over here. Just because down below there is a pale garden area, and this creaking just so happened to spawn in that area, which is exactly why we need to do the redstone for this place and then name the creaking so it doesn't despawn and it doesn't spawn over there. But I have to say that is pretty funny that it just spawned over there in exactly the area that I want to work in today. So I'm gonna go sleep and it should get rid of this guy. But I just find it funny that he is here right now, like exactly the time that I want to show you guys this area. So yes, as I just mentioned, this is the area I want to work on today, seeing as it is way overdue. So what I want to start off with is a little bit of these walls, which, yeah, these are not going to matter too much because these are not going to be able to pull up. But some of these are, like maybe these ones, possibly. Well, not only are the walls fully in with these yellow terracotta blocks behind them, we also have the ceiling and a little bit of light. So that already changes this place quite a lot, as you can see. Now it is kind of dark in some places and pretty bright in others, which is exactly what I wanted. And I have also worked a little bit on this big room right here. As you can see, it is quite a big room and it is going to be similar to the castle garden in the first Moggy dungeon. And for the rest, I haven't really done too much other than just make sure that every block, such as the ceiling and the walls, are in place, as well as the light sources, with the one exception of a room in this direction. Now, sometimes I am not 100% sure where I actually need to go, and I have to guess, but as you can see, I made it here. And yeah, it is rather dark, but we will definitely have to think of something for these rooms. Because now, of course, it would be time to fill those rooms up with different stuff. And yeah, that's going to be difficult because I have no idea what I want to do in some cases. Now, what I do know is that this is going to be a rather luscious area. And maybe what we can do over here is have the big oasis. So, yep, time to just destroy most of the ground. And we will have to make sure that there is plenty of space for the guards to still walk around, of course. I think this is fine. This, of course, is going to have the oasis be the bigger part of this room. So I think that's a good reason to call it the Oasis room. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I should really start finishing this thing up by actually adding water into it. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna go to this room right here. This Oasis might actually be slightly bigger, I'm not sure. But like I said, that room is way bigger, so it's less of an impact as well. Let's put that there. We can move it over here. Okay, perfect. And now we have infinite water here. There we go. And what I want to do is put some sugarcane around it. Just like that. Okay, very nice. Now one other thing we can do is put a bit of kelp in here. And let's bone meal this place as well. Okay, very nice. Now, do I want to add these? Sure, yes, we can. Let me see, can I add one more on top here? Okay, it should be possible, I imagine. Otherwise, I'll just put it over here, make it a bit easier. And that's not because parkour is going to be a big part of this. But I might put something somewhere that you can only access once you've jumped up on here. Okay. Maybe remove this one and have something over there. Now I know you think that, oh, you can just access it like this. Well, I'll make sure to put it one block back, just so that you cannot access it elsewhere. Of course, any greenery would be nice in this room as well, so let's just add a couple of firefly bushes, which will also give us the particles, which is pretty nice. Maybe bamboo in some other places. Let's see. Okay, well, let's not do too much for now. And bone meal. Boom. Okay, I have removed the firefly bushes with the exception of one. And now what I want to do is... Let's see, do I want to do it here? Yes. Don't have much space here, so just gonna need to kind of deal with that. Hopefully it will be fine. Let's see. I'm sure you guys already guess what I am making here. Even if it's slightly bad on this side, considering I can't put anything there. What if I just move it just one block to this side? Let's see. Alright. Yeah, I would say that looks decent for a small scale palm tree. Do I want to place any elsewhere? Maybe not actually. One thing I do want to do is add some coconuts to them. And the way I'm going to do that is by getting mini soul set. That is more than I needed. Okay, yeah, oops. Anyway, does this work? Not if it's over there. Let's see. I would say that definitely works. And we can probably even put one on the ground over here. Okay. One other thing I could do is use armor stands to make them attached to the... what are these called again? These decorated pots. Maybe even like move them a little bit so they're not completely square like this and in the same location elsewhere. But yeah, I would say this room is close to done. I just need to fix up that hole. Alright. Now, if I were to put a button in there, you would not be able to press it regardless of where you're standing. You would only be able to see it from here. And the only way to press the button is to do the parkour, which I know not everyone's gonna wanna do. But I would say that rounds up that room, so I can pack up and move on to the next. Oh hey, look who's back. And this right here is the next room that I want to work on, and it looks like I've already done a little bit of stuff. It's really not that much. I've just lowered some of the floor, filled it with water, and added 2 waterfalls. But these waterfalls, of course, don't lead anywhere. Just in case you're wondering if there's a secret behind them, no, and there won't be. But what I will do is make something out of this place. And for that, I am going to need to start putting things in place. So, yeah, that already doesn't look good. Unfortunately, I will need to remove these. And I will need to think of what exactly I am going to do. What I will probably start off with is the floor. So, very easy. We are going to be using half slabs. Alright, and with these slabs in place, what I think I'll do is just a couple of them make it a little bit wet. So, mostly of course the ones to the side. Let's do here. Yeah, of course. They have to be touching water to be wet. Now technically I could say that about literally every single slab over here, but yeah, I think that I want to stick with the oak mostly, and then just have a couple of spruce mixed in, just, you know, to give it some variation. Now what we can do here is put these over here, maybe not all the way. Yeah, that's good. Boom. And do we want to add it here? Maybe here, but I know that I have to be ready. Boom. There we go. Hopefully not too much was spilled there. Boom, boom. And I'm gonna have to delete this. Boom. Very quick replacement. And yeah, that is gonna be it with those blocks. I can put the food back in the offhand. I like having that. And let's get crafting table, couple of jungle slabs. Boom. And you may remember this design from the docks. I'm going to be using a very similar design with instead copper chains. Right, a little bit of green stuff, and of course these greeneries as well. Now one thing I forgot to do, also in the other room, is that I could use sea pickles to light it up a bit. But I don't think that's really going to be needed, so I might leave it out. One more thing I can do is place a one bamboo over here. And I think that's the only place I want to put bamboo in. At least in this room. And I would say that it is mostly done. I want to put up a banner over here, I think. And here as well. And at this door. And I feel like there's something else missing from this room. But I'm honestly not sure what. And this is not me teasing anything, this is legit me thinking like, what am I missing from this room? And just like that, I have also finished the next room, which is going to be a bit of a painful room. Now, if you remember the other theme, we had like a Wither Rose theme going on. Yeah, here we have prickly, dangerous plants going on. Which, now that I look at it, I realize that I need to remove... this one would be too easy. I think I'm gonna need to remove this one. Because I still want this one to be accessible, of course. In a non-painful way. And right now, I mean, you might be able to reach it from here. But if I want to have like a compass location, like over there in that corner or something like that, then I will need to keep this like this way. So yeah, this room is going to hurt, that for sure. And now I want to work on a room that's a bit bigger. This room right here, which at the moment is pretty dark. So let's just put that down. Perfect. That's going to stay there forever. Believe me, it is not. And one thing I would like to do here is have a little bit of a... like one of those luscious caves with so much clay in it. Yeah, so what I want to do is have something like this. And kind of fill that with water. But first I need to figure out exactly where the rest is going to be. And I think that's going to look like this. Alright, quite a bit of clay put into place, and it might look a little bit weird right now because of the lack of water. So let's start adding that water. But of course, usually these sort of caves have like axolotls in them. Yeah, that would be a little too friendly for my liking. So what other aquatic mob could we put in here that might actually throw players off guard a little bit? Yes. I will add pufferfish. Why? Just imagine this scenario. Making sure my armor is off so I don't hurt it. You're trying to get to a chest. Suddenly, come on. Yeah, there you go. A little bit of a surprise. Now what this room is still missing, of course, is the mossy stuff, because those caves usually have quite a bit of moss in them. So I'm going to put those down, as well as a couple of these in different places. And yes, I am using a texture pack that adds just that little bit of a trim over there, which I really like. So, yep, highly recommend. Called Vanilla Tweaks. Well, you've spotted the pufferfish there. Okay, now I need to move that one. Alright, a couple of deflowering azaleas later. And I would say this room can be considered done, I think. I'm still wondering if I should add vines. I just don't remember if there are actually vines down there. I don't believe so. I think it's just these. And I would say it already looks pretty good. And that leaves us with two rooms, one of which is this room right at the entrance. And I am wondering what to do with this, because it is a pass-through room. Similar to the oasis and the bridge. So, let me think about this one. I know in the other one we have like a carpet going through it with a statue in the middle. I mean, I can just quickly go and check, of course. So this is one of the corridors, which is a pass-through room. And the other one is just over here with honestly nothing too much going on. It's just a statue in the middle. So I am wondering if I want to add maybe some kind of statue in the middle there too. So this probably looks pretty terrible right now. Well, first of all, I want to add these around the outside of this. And I think that's really going to add a nice little trim. Let's see. Yes, that's a great start. And we're going to use the same trick that I did in my base. So let's just see real quick. This goes here, this goes on top. Lever on the side, armor stand inside. Boom, there we go. And now we just put armor on this thing. So let's do that. And I am wondering if I should maybe consider not putting a helmet on him. You can see the little thing there though that I don't like. So let's just try it. Yeah, I would say this looks good. And yeah, I honestly don't know what I would change about this. Now, you're probably wondering what it is at the bottom. That's just white terracotta. But I really like how bright it looks. And even though it is just there so it's not, you know, the grass, I'm fine with that color being there. So that looks very good, I would say. Now this statue is done, so of course we can work with the room around it. Maybe add in a palm tree like we have in that room. Maybe add maybe a little bit of water. I honestly struggling to find a place where to put water, so maybe not going to do that. And here we go. This is the finished room, and I have to say it looks really nice. Now these bamboos still need to grow, but I would say it is done as far as my involvement in this room. Well, to a certain extent at least, I do need to make sure that these don't grow too far. But that's all. And now what I want to do is get started on the final room. But it is going to be such a big room that I'm honestly not sure if I am even going to do progress updates or anything with this. because I want to have like a mine shaft over here. I want to have a second layer to this room. It is going to be pretty big. But you'll have to wait till next episode to see what happened with this room. All I'll say is, yes, the Ravager can still go in this room. But anyway, that is gonna be it for me today. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, then you know what to do, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!